We always talk about life as a journey, right? A path. But what happens when we get turned around? Today, we're going to dive into 4 really distinct ways we get lost, and maybe even more importantly, what it takes to get found again.
So, let's start with a big question, one I want you to just kind of hold on to as we go through this. Are you on the right path? Sounds simple, I know, but as you're about to see, the answer can be pretty complicated.
Because here's the thing. Even when we try our best, it is so easy to lose our bearings. And what's interesting is that there isn't just one way to be lost. There are actually 4 very different patterns, which we can split into 2 main categories. All right, so first up, let's talk about getting lost completely by accident. This is when we drift off course without ever making a conscious choice to do it. It just kind of happens.
And in this category, we've got 2 really powerful pictures, the sheep and the coin. And the key difference between them? It all comes down to movement. One gets lost by wandering away, while the other gets lost without moving a single inch.
Okay, so first, let's think about the sheep. Imagine this. You're part of the group. You're heading in the right direction. But then you get separated. This isn't some big act of rebellion. Nope, it's quieter. It's distraction, or maybe just feeling fragile, or being totally exhausted. You just drift.
And you've probably seen this, right? In our own lives, this is that person who just slowly fades away from their community or their commitments. There's no big, dramatic exit. It's just a gradual, almost invisible drift until one day they look up and realize they are way off course. And in this story, the shepherd has to actually go out, find them, and bring them back home.
Okay, but then there's the second one, and this one's fascinating. The coin. See, the coin doesn't wander off. It gets lost inside the house. It's right there in the middle of all the daily chaos. Maybe it fell between the couch cushions or got swept into a dusty corner. It's lost in the one place it's supposed to be safe.
And man, doesn't that just perfectly capture that feeling of being physically there but completely gone on the inside? You're still showing up to work, you're sitting at the family dinner table, but you are totally disconnected, lost in your own head, in your own silence. And to be found, someone has to turn on the lights, sweep away all the dust, and search for you. Intentionally.
Okay, so that's getting lost by accident. Now let's switch gears to the second big category, being lost by choice. This is a whole different ballgame because here, personal decisions are front and center. This is active, not passive. And just like before, we've got 2 key figures here. First, there's the prodigal son. He knows he's leaving. But then you've got the figure of Paul, and this is where it gets really tricky. He's also lost by choice, but with a dangerous twist. He's 100% convinced he's on the right path.
Yep, we all know the story of the prodigal son, right? And for good reason. It's all about a very clear, very deliberate choice. He basically stands up and says, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm doing things my way. It's not a slow drift, it's a clean break, a conscious decision to walk off the path. And his whole journey, it follows this really clear pattern. First, there's the choice to leave. That, of course, leads to the hard fall, the moment he hits rock bottom. Then comes the realization, that what have I done moment of clarity. And finally, there's the journey home, that humble choice to go back, where his father is waiting.
Okay, but then you have Paul. And this might be the most dangerous way to be lost of all. See, Paul isn't running away from something. He is running towards what he believes is right with every ounce of his being. The only problem? His path is completely, totally wrong. He thinks he's a champion for a righteous cause, but he's actually fighting against it.
So here's the key takeaway, the big difference. The son chose to turn back. Paul, he would have just kept on going. He had to be stopped. His journey was completely interrupted by this radical, totally external event, a literal blinding light that forced him for the very first time to just stop and listen.
All right, so we've looked at 4 totally different ways of getting lost. 2 by accident, 2 on purpose. So now, let's pull it all together and look at what the path back actually looks like for each one. Because really, understanding how you got lost is the first step to being found.
Okay, check out this table. This really lays it all out perfectly. Let's just walk through it real quick. Look at the first 2, the accidental paths.
The distracted sheep has to be sought out and carried back. The forgotten coin has to be intentionally looked for. See the pattern? In both cases, the rescue comes from the outside. But now look at the ones lost by choice. For the son, the father waits, but the son himself has to decide to come home. And then there's Paul, lost in his own certainty. He doesn't get a choice in that moment. He is confronted, he is stopped, and he's forced onto a brand new path.
And all of this, it brings us right back to where we started. Because now that we have these 4 pictures, we can kind of turn that question on ourselves and do a little reflection.
So let's ask it one more time, but now with all this context. Looking at these 4 ways of being lost, where do you see yourself on the path right now? Are you maybe lost like the sheep, just kind of drifting and needing someone to find you? Or maybe you feel more like the coin, disconnected and lost in plain sight, needing some light and attention. Are you rebellious like the son, knowing you walked away and that the choice to go home is yours to make? Or, and this is the tough one, are you blind like Paul, so sure you're right that you need to be stopped in your tracks just to finally listen?
Whatever your answer is, the stories these archetypes come from all point to this powerful message of hope. The idea here is that no matter how you got lost, there's always a way back. The journey, it seems, isn't really about never getting lost. It's about understanding how we can be found. Which leaves us with a final thought. If we can be lost in so many ways, what does it mean to be the one who searches?